Hey YouTube, back with another update and some progress done to the 95 Pathfinder. Got a lot stripped down. I've made up my mind. I'm going to scrap this body. I'm going to tear it all the way down to the frame. But before I do, I'm going to use, let me show you here. I'm going to pull out the glass that's left in here, the windshield and the 2 quarter panel glasses. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this probably to about right here. And I'm going to try to salvage this top skin. And the reason being is I kind of like this little transition here and the way this section is. I might be able to use that for something. Kind of got something going on in my head there that I might be able to use that for. So I'm going to try to separate this top skin off of there. But I'm going to cut the roof from here off. Basically the floor, I'm going to say from, maybe like right here or where this rust spot is. Everything from there back is going to be gone. Hopefully that'll be the case by this weekend. I got to figure out a way to pull this glass out of here without breaking it. The reason why I'm going to save this front section on here is I'm going to pull the dash out. But I had contemplated building a custom dash for my 91, and the reason being is that I wanted to put a roll cage in it. I think what I'm going to do, just because I can, because I have this here, once this dash is removed, I'm going to see how difficult it would be for me to build a new dash. If I feel like that's something that I want to do and still retain, the defroster vents and the heater vents and stuff like that in there, then I'll use this to build it. And then I'll move it into my Pathfinder, my 91 Pathfinder once it's done. If I think it's going to be too big of a fucking headache, then this is going to go into my 91. I'm still, because I decided that I'm going to scrap this entire body, and I was doing some pricing for some links, some joints, Johnny joints, whatever, ballistic joints. So when I do the suspension on this thing, and it's pretty expensive, we're probably looking at just to get all the links that I would need for the front and rear suspension and the steering and all of that, because I'm going to start there. I'm not going to build the top part of the buggy until that's done and done properly. So for me to just get all of those links, all of the steering setup that I plan on using, all of that stuff, not including the tubing, just that, not even the axles, but the material that I'd need for the mounting brackets and stuff like that. We're looking at over $1,000 unless I can figure out a place to get some cheaper joints from, and I'm working on that right now. So with that being said, once this body is stripped out of here, then I'm probably going to use this frame as a kind of a mock-up frame for the work that I want to do on my 91. That includes making new links for the rear axle, and I am going to put a solid axle underneath the front of that. I'm not sure when, but I am going to do it. So while I have this frame here, I'm going to use it to mock up a 3-link setup, and so that this way it's complete. I'm not going to chop up this frame just yet. Once I have all those pieces dealt with and everything mocked up and fabbed up, what I was thinking is that if I can use this frame and this engine and all that stuff and this steering as a template to build all that crap off of, then what I could do is easily just remove it, you know, have the stuff just kind of tacked on here just for mock-up purposes. And then when I get a free weekend, you know, obviously after I get a front end too, when I get a free weekend, I should be able to do the solid axle conversion, you know, within a day or two, because everything will be ready to go and mocked up. I'll have the front end built, ready to go. That's the benefit to having this extra vehicle in here. That's the same thing, and the same goes with the rear. The rear is going to be done before the front, obviously, because it's cheaper. I have the rear end, so I got two rear ends now. So I'm gonna try to either make some factory length joints for the 4-link, or I'm going to try to do a long arm setup. I'm not sure. These things flex a ton with the factory links on there, and I'm not sure. I guess it's going to decide on. I've got to think about it for a little while and decide if I'm going to lift that 91 up anymore, and kind of get a real good look underneath the front of this and find out how low I can keep the truck with a solid axle underneath the front of it. So that's the plan anyway. So, you know, I'm going to try to speed this video up. Tomorrow I've got to go inside the house and look at the factory service manual and figure out how to remove these tail lights. Figure out a good way to remove both the front windshield and those. I'm going to cut this bumper off of here tomorrow. The back end, man, this is terrible. Right here by the fuel tank, this is bad. This is going to pose a little bit of a problem, because I was hoping that this pickup here would have been good, because I'm going to need that if I want to run with the EFI system that's on here, the fuel injection system. I'm going to need a pickup, and this one's junk. Okay, I mean the electrical connections are all rusted and broke, and it's bad. I have to price that out tonight and find out how much that's going to cost me just for the pickup. If that's too much, I've got to find another option, because I had talked about potentially putting a small block Chevy in here and running propane. If it's going to be too big of a headache for me to keep that VG30E in here, because I have to go buy a new pickup and I'm having to deal with the wiring, or I can't find a vacuum advanced distributor or a mechanical advanced distributor that'll work with that engine so I can switch it over to propane. If I can't find that stuff, then I'm just going to rebuild this engine, and I'm going to put it in my 91, and I'm just going to take the engine out of my 91 and just put it up in put it on a stand here in the shop and slowly rebuild it as money permits, so that I just have a spare engine. And the same goes with the transmission and the transfer case and the rear end and pretty much everything that I'm going to keep off of here. I'll just keep all that stuff as spare parts for my 91, and just completely from the ground up build a rock buggy, with a small block Chevy engine in it, and just call it that. Things are not looking good on here as far as being able to keep this powertrain, and I'm not too stressed out about it, and the reason being is that things seem to just kind of work out. Especially as of recently, things have just been kind of working out for me and leading me in the right direction. So if it comes down to it, and it's just going to be too big of a headache, like I said, to run this engine, it's going to be a Chevy-based platform. I'm going to have a 350 or whatever small block Chevy engine. I'll have a turbo 400 trans, and either get me an Atlas transfer case or run a double transfer case set up off of the back of the transmission, and just build myself a from, like I said, from the ground up buggy, and don't use any of this. So and that's just take this thing for parts and scrap metal to hopefully I can make enough money off the scrap metal and the parts that I do sell to be able to go out and buy me a couple of axles. That would be awesome. Hopefully 3 of them. one for the 91. So we'll see. Like I said, at this point we're just kind of feeling it out, and I am going to cut up this body though. One of the other things I got to do this weekend is I've got to gut all these doors and get everything out of these doors, glasses, trim, seals, all of that stuff off of here. I'm going to put it all, like I said, all of it on my 91. All these seals on my 91 are they're junk. A lot of air comes inside of them. Window seals are all junk, falling apart. So even though these aren't in the best of shape, they're at least 4 years younger. So, and all the mechanical stuff, the door latches and stuff, are all function well. So all that's going to come out of those doors, and like I said, go right into the 91. I've got all my pile of trim, and this rear glass is going to go on my 91 right away. Yeah, that's the plan. So subscribe, comment, like, the typical routine stuff, and go down and look at the links in the description. Go like my Facebook page. The link's down there, Alvarez Metalworks. Yeah, not much else to say. If you got any questions or suggestions, I'm definitely open for suggestions. Leave me a comment, message me, whatever. All right, talk to you guys later.